Hello and welcome. Good news at the back for the New York City Football Club as they prepare for this critical 10-game stretch to close out the regular season. The club mantra, every game is a final. We got exclusives with Pascal Janssen and Kevin O'Toole and a whole bunch more coming up on NYCFC Views Live.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. NYCFC Views.
Collins approaches the shot, and New York City wins the first MLS Cup on their first try, and they're going crazy. Tiene tiro y gol! Gol! New York City es el campeón de Major League Soccer!
The sickest New York City FC podcast. It's gonna be sick.
All right, with the League's Cup in the rear view mirror, we move on. There's Roberto. I'm Glenn. We've got your commentary coming up on a Sunday game, Sunday football, 5 p.m. Eastern. Our airtime 4:45 on the network. Roberto with the Spanish. We'll have the English. And Roberto, it's been we were up at the facility today to check out training, but it had been a fairly long absence with that 12-day break between games after the failure to move out of the group stage of League's Cup. But that may have worked in the favor of New York City. They're not going to – no one's going to say that within the club. But I think part of this period of time, and Pascal Janssen specifically mentioned giving Justin Hack a bit of a breather because he's played almost every minute.
Yeah, he's been absolutely sensational for the team, and he's the leader in minutes. I mean, no matter where you want to put him, center or defense, midfield, whatever you want to do, I mean, he's the guy that does the job and does it very, very well. And while we're talking about this, there was a story up on somewhere on social media. I don't know where you shared it from, but there seems to be a possibility of interest from Rangers up in Scotland for Justin Hack. Now, if that happens and he does go over there, and look, you don't want to stop anybody from going to Europe. Well, the team today made it official that Raul Gustavo is on board. But if Hack leaves, you still need some depth.
Pretty interesting. New York City had another homegrown player who is both a midfielder and a central defender, just like Justin Hack, James Sands, who went to the same club to experience Europe. And how much it worked to the benefit of James Sands, I think it's difficult to measure. It's a league that probably doesn't have the depth of Major League Soccer, but at the top, it's two very good teams, and when they play each other, and there's probably 4 or 5 sides in Scotland that they're great matches that you're going to play. But then I guess I don't follow it closely enough to give an expert opinion, Roberto. But I do try to catch the old firm, Rangers Celtic, whenever possible. So that
is always a great game. I know. You remember when Ronnie was here? He would go to like one of the bars and catch it there.
Jack Dempsey's in Manhattan, and the one time I remember him going, he wore his Celtic top with the signatures of a lot of players. I guess it was the gift he got on the way out the door of Celtic, and I just remember he was having pints with supporters on a Sunday morning at about 8 a.m. That's what I remember.
How cool! Seriously, how cool is that?
Yeah.
You walk into Jack Dempsey as a Celtic supporter, right? And you walk right in, and then you're like, huh? Who's there? What? And then it's like, yeah, come on over. Let's have some beers. And it's 8 a.m, and you're like, let's go. That's got to be great.
Yeah, but it was also, I don't know if it still is kind of the de facto New York City supporters pub, too. I know they have pub partners all over the place, but I know they've had a couple of New York City events there. Manchester City, when they play, I know those games are featured at Jack Dempsey's. It really is a cool spot to go upstairs or downstairs and get a chance to watch the action. Yeah, so we talked about Hack, and then you mentioned Raul Gustavo. And in a moment, we'll go over kind of his most recent statistical line. But yeah, the club made it official today. Raul Gustavo, a central defender, left-footed, and Pascal Janssen knows him very well because he coached him in Hungary. So let's bring in Pascal to give his scouting report / evaluation, a list a little bit more about this guy who is not there yet and still has the paperwork to do. But here's Pascal.
We've sort of brought him up surreptitiously along the way since there were rumors, and you finally got the deal done. So I'm sure you're happy about that.
Yeah, we are very happy to finally have Raul on board. Very happy also with the help from Ferencváros that they were willing to sell him to us. Of course, Raul is a big piece for their team as well, but he wanted to make this step to come to New York, and I, for one, am very happy that he has chosen to come to us and not a different project. So looking forward to seeing him.
Since you've worked directly with him, maybe you can give us a bit of a scouting report. What we've read, he's left-footed, left central defender perhaps, 6'3", which might indicate he's very good in the air, but what do you say?
It indicates that. No, he has a lot of pace. He's a very fast and agile player, especially for his height. He's a good header, defensively and offensively, and also a very flexible player. He can play left centre back. He can also play one of the three centre backs left orientated if we play with three, and he can even play as a left fullback if you play in a line of four. So that's the interesting part about Raul. He's become a very flexible player because of his pace. Can defend big spaces as well, and with his feet he's quite comfortable as well. So very complete. Modern defender.
Are you able to predict or anticipate his arrival and when he might be ready, or is it just the paperwork and it runs its course?
Yeah, it's the second part. Yeah. Just have to wait until all the details for the paperwork have been done, and he's been keeping himself healthy and in training in Manchester. So we're very happy that they were willing to help us as well. And now the moment for his arrival in New York is getting closer, and once he's here we'll have to see where he's at exactly, but I'm hoping and trusting him that he will be available shortly.
All right, a lot in that. We learned some things there. He's been training in Manchester in order to keep in shape, because this deal has been in the works at least for a month. I mean, that's when the reports first came out, and who knows how long before that. So that was one thing, Roberto. I think early on when Pascal said he was thankful for the help from Ferencváros, that's interesting because, and here's some of the numbers, because he wasn't playing there. Robbie Keane, who came in for Pascal. So here's what it was. Here's what I have, and this is all from Transfer Market, Roberto. In October of 2024, Gustavo broke his collarbone and missed 9 matches. He was back playing in mid-December. Now, Pascal had already decided he was leaving Ferencváros to come to New York City FC. So after Pascal departs and Robbie Keane comes in, Gustavo starts 5 of 10 matches. He was an unused sub in the other 5. So half the matches he played, half the matches he sat. In the last 10 matches he was available under Robbie Keane, he played 1 minute. So, yes, I understand the gesture and Pascal being thankful that they would work with the New York City Football Club to make this happen, but he wasn't playing. No. So I think it was a little bit easier for them to depart with Raul Gustavo, who could become a critical figure here. And the other part that I picked up on, Roberto, and then I'd like to hear from you, is the versatility part. Talking about pace, being able to cover a lot of ground defensively, which means left back. So we got Kevin O'Toole there. So now we have some depth at left. On the left side of defense, we have depth now, is the way I'd put it, I guess. Yeah.
I guess, I mean, the one thing that's interesting is that you see that the guy debuted in 2021, And the most games he's played in any season was 33 for Corinthians in 2022. So after that, it was 5 games in Bahia in 2022-23, 13 more in Bahia in 23, 6 for Corinthians in 24, and then 24 for Ferencváros between 24 and 25. So that's not a lot of games. And it's like the quick research that I've been able to do, he's had 6 different injuries that have kept him out of games and kept him out since 2021. And I guess the last one he was out from October 4th to December 11th with a broken collarbone, as you had said. So you would hope that being in a new place with a fresh start, with a coach that knows him and obviously wants him, because that doesn't happen. I mean, if the coach doesn't want him, so that he's able to step in and play significant minutes and contribute for a team that lacks in depth in defense.
Well, it was his initial comments, Gustavo, coming into the new club. He lauded Pascal Janssen for making him feel comfortable and really helping the cause. So which is a nice compliment. And Pascal, in his regular press conference, responded to that and said it was gratifying to hear that from a player. But that's what players need, that they need to feel comfortable. And if you don't feel comfortable, you're not playing your best football. That would be true in any sport. It could be hoops. It could be if you're not comfortable, especially with the leadership. And we're getting a better sense about that in regard to Pascal. He's very direct to the players. He has said that a couple of times to us, right? I mean, players want to hear the truth, even if they might not like what they hear sometimes. They want to know. But you need to do it in a way where you put your arm around the guy at the same time. So apparently that's the way Gustavo feels about Pascal.
Well, you've talked about communication and how clear communication is really the best way to go. I mean, we understand that. You're honest with people and they know where they stand. If it's that they're not playing enough or they're not starting, if they're asking why or the coach volunteers why, they know where they stand and they know what they've got to do to be able to, get extra minutes or get starts. I think communication at that level, and not beating about the bush or leaving hints and, not talking, just communicate, this is what you need to do. Or even if you do all this guy is just really a better player. And so therefore he's going to get the starting minutes, but, we're going to try to find you minutes anyway. Whatever it is, whatever the honest answer is, let's go with that.
Using the 2 words together, better player, you have to be careful with your words sometimes. But it depends. It depends on your relationship with the player too. But you're absolutely right. And honestly, Roberto, in the early stages of my career, I was not good at that because you're still not as confident in yourself maybe as the coach. So young coaches maybe in particular have trouble giving the truth because they're not certain that they're correct with the truth is kind of what it is. So it does take a confident coach who understands it. Players have to be told that at times. So it's we'll just have to wait and see when he gets in. For now, New York City continues with a pretty thin back line, and but the great news was that Thiago Martins, 3 weeks after surgery,
that's crazy,
was competing in training today, and I don't think we'll get in trouble for saying this, but there was a through ball played, and he easily outpaced Andres Pereira to just get inside of him, get the ball, play it back to the keeper, and that's the Thiago Martins we know, the guy that's very pacey. And that's interesting too. If those two pair up at the back, it's nice to have 2 guys that can run in central defense. Very nice.
Absolutely. And one of the other things that Pascal told us is that, yes, he's good in the air. You mentioned his size, 6'3", but he's good in the air defensively. And he mentioned this, and it was specific about it. He said he's good in the air offensively, which means that if he gets his head on the ball, he's not heading it over the bar. He's going to head it down.
Hopefully.
Well, that's what you would think that actually means.
Well, hopefully he doesn't. Hopefully he hasn't spent time in the past with Maxime Chanot and Thiago Martins, who tend to head the ball over the bar.
Well,
just having some fun here, Thiago. Just having some fun here. The truth hurts sometimes, but anyway. Look, what a weapon. He's 6'3". Here's the deal. He's 6'3". He's going to be in the middle. If he gets the opportunity, they're going to push him forward on a set piece, and he's going to be near the goal. To me, as someone who is not nearly 6'3", it's incumbent on somebody of that size and strength, and he's agile, that's what Pascal says, to get their head on a ball off a set piece, man, because, they're going to be taller than most of the people that are there.
Yeah, by the way, he's 26 years old. I mean, he's not like he's coming here at 29 or 30 or anything like that. He's 26. So that's good. That's good to see. Also, we've been told that he'll keep his number 34.
All right. I didn't even know that was his number, but it's nice to know.
There you go.
Number 34. All right. So this opponent coming up, Nashville. So you had the postponement of Columbus, which I think in a way was very helpful because of the tight schedule in Leagues Cup. And that game is going to be played in September now, in the middle of the week. So it's still going to be a difficult 10-game stretch. But now you get a home match against Nashville at Yankee Stadium. And Nashville's got these two guys who are really producing. And we know them well because they did very well and produced in the first game this year, which ended up 2-2. It was a game of two halves, right? Nashville won the first half 2-0, and New York City won the second half 2-0 at Nashville at Geodis Park. But that's Sam Surridge and Hani Mukhtar, 18 goals and 12 goals. They have 30 of the 43 goals. So at BJ Callahan, he's the head coach, at his press conference today, Roberto, he was asked a little bit about this, the attacking side for Nashville.
I think from the beginning, we don't really, it's not about who's scoring the goals. It's about, are we able to create good goal scoring opportunities, and are the players finding themselves in those positions to execute? I think when you look at kind of across the totality of the season, we've been able to create good goal scoring chances. Right now, Sam and Hani have been the beneficiaries of that. And sure, if other guys find their moments, they should finish. I know there's guys out there that think they should have a couple more goals because we've missed some chances as well. So for us, the only thing that we care about is, the performance that we put in, the process that we follow, and if we're able to, if that can, I would say, lead to a result that is 3 points for us. How we get there, who scores the goals, that doesn't matter to us.
It's what's going to be interesting is that if you concentrate just on Surridge and Mukhtar, I mean, that you would look at the amount of goals that they've scored, and if you mentioned they scored 30 out of the 43, those obviously are the two guys that stand out. But I think also that one of the guys that they have to really concentrate on is Andy Nahar. They've got to concentrate on him. And so it's going to be Hannes Wolf, most likely, and Kevin O'Toole, most likely, that are going to be up and down the New York left flank, which is Andy Nahar's flank on offense for Nashville. He's got 7 assists so far this season. He leads the team in assists. And so stopping his service...
He's got 10 assists, Roberto.
Well, 7 primary I'm looking at. So he's got 7
All
primary.
Right. So we both have different stat sheets. You've got 8.
Yeah.
Well,
right.
regardless, but you're right. He is the difference issue. Roberto, they've already scored 5 more goals than they did all of last year, and they've got 8 games left. And yeah, Nahar is a huge part of that because there are many familiar faces as well. But they didn't score much last year, and neither of these two teams concede much. Each have conceded 29 goals. That's tied for third in MLS and all of MLS for fewest goals conceded. So I'm not sure what to expect on Sunday.
I hope for a fun game. I mean, New York City played a very good second half after I'm sure they got reamed in the first at halftime after what was not a great by any stretch of the imagination first half over there. And remember that they had gone into Nashville into that game 0-3-0, right? They had played 3 times in Nashville. They had lost all 3. For them to come back late in the game the way that they did, to be able to get a point out of that, I thought was extraordinary. And then you look at the team coming off the field and onto the buses, and that's a great thing that happens when you're able to travel with the team and you're able to be. They were very happy with the way that they came back, and that was a good flight home. So now Nashville is going through a little bit of a rut. They lost to St. Louis City by a score of 3-1. They tied Aston Villa 2-2 in an exhibition game, but they also lost to San Diego 1-0. So on the road, this is a team that's been having its issues. As a matter of fact, that they've lost their last 3. Yeah, but I'm looking at their last 3. They've lost their last 3 on the road. The last win that they had on the road was June 28th against DC United. And then they played them at home and beat them 5-2. Oh, that was in the Open Cup. But either way. So when they play at home, they've been good.
One loss at home in 13 games, 6 losses on the road in 13 games. That is, if that's not MLS, and this is the 3rd best team in the league. They're number 3 overall in points in MLS. And they've lost 6 on the road. So, and it's going to be tough for them at Yankee Stadium, as it is for any opponent that comes in. You're just not used to it. Now, last year's game, I want everybody watching, listening to understand. If you look back at last year's game near the end of the season, BJ Callahan was in charge, but remember he came in not until July, replacing Gary Smith. New York City won that game 3-1, scored 3 goals in the first 21 minutes. But Nashville could have won that game 5 or 6-3. Seriously. I mean, they outshot. I pulled this up a while ago. They outshot New York City, ended up the second half was unbelievable. 22-11, but they only got 5 on goal. Freeze came up with 4 saves. A couple of them were spectacular. And so Nashville under BJ Callahan, they're a difficult team to beat. It's a different team. They look to press and counter press, and their recoveries are far greater than they were under Gary Smith, and they recover it closer to the goal. And that's another reason that a guy like Sam Surridge, and by the way, when he scores, they're undefeated. So when he scores a goal, they don't lose. And he's got 18 of them. He's tied for the Golden Boot lead. So it's a tough out on Sunday, and it's an important.
For sure. Although New York City's never lost to them at home, right? So New York City's never lost to them at home. They would beat them 3-1 in 2024. They beat them 2-1 in 2023, and they tied 0-0 in 2021. So they did not play in 2022. Interesting. Well, I guess that was the time that they went west. I don't know. It's
they were
they went west and came back east.
Yeah, they were in the Western Conference, and you don't play. Can they not make an MLS schedule where you play everybody every year? The answer is yes. You absolutely can, and you just play only a certain amount of clubs in your conference, i.e., your closest rivals, multiple times, and then everybody else you just play once. You can do it.
I guess you can. I think it's fair. I don't know.
And then you alternate home and away. This year you play at San Diego. Next year they come to you. I
don't know. Maybe because there's 30 teams. Maybe you expand it to 38 games, but then you got to make you got to speak to the Players Association and go, "Hi, I guess we owe you some more money."
No, you can.
It would make it a little fairer.
So here, 30 teams. So you have to play 15 on the opposite side. Just one game. And then you need to play. So if you go 15 plus 14, that's 29. So you need 5 more games. So 5 teams in the Eastern Conference, you play twice. It's going to be the Red Bulls, Philadelphia, and pick the closest ones. Red Bulls, Philadelphia, DC United, New England,
Toronto, or Montreal.
Now, what you could say is that, other teams are going to be at a disadvantage because their rivals are better teams than
your rivals.
Some of the ones that we.
But you have the same thing now. You have the same thing now. So it's a coin flip. It's the same. It's different,
Let's
but the
play
same.
everybody. Let's play everybody. We can do it, man. We can do it.
I just want to go to Vancouver. I just want to go to Vancouver every other year.
You've got 9 teams from each conference going to the playoffs. Come on, man. Play everybody.
Okay, so make it up to 38 games. Play everybody, and we'll do what you said, and then you'll have some extra games to play twice. So, I mean, because you want to play Atlanta twice,
don't have to
maybe
play
you want to
38
play
games.
Orlando twice.
You can stick to 34. You don't have to
No,
play
but I want
38 games.
38. Just get more games. It's
What's
good.
the USL Championship. What are they? Not USL, the EFL Championship. They play like 40. They play some enormous amount, like 48 games. Those guys are.
Well, they play everybody home and away. How many teams do they have? 24? Is it 24 teams in
I think that's right.
the championship?
I should know. I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway,
I'd have to go look. It's not off the top of my head. Sorry, guys.
We're gonna move on, but we'll stay with New York City FC and Kevin O'Toole, the aforementioned, who we'll see at left back on Sunday against Nashville. But now maybe when Gustavo comes in, there'll be a little competition there. Depends on how Pascal Janssen wants to play it. But one thing we saw during the break is 3 New York City FC players get a chance to go on the field at Yankee Stadium to watch some baseball, before the game and batting practice. And so Kevin O'Toole. So I sat down with Kevin O'Toole. It'll be on my podcast On Frame. About 11 or 12 minutes with him today, just to catch up and talk about him. First of all, being on a billboard all over the city. I guess it's in at least 2 spots anyway. That's what he's heard. Everybody's calling him that sees his face up there. But then also going to this Yankee game with Matt Freese and Hannes Wolf. So here, first of all, his reaction to, and he's a Yankee fan. So this was very nice for Kevin O'Toole. Here he is. And then you go to a Yankee game, Yankee Stadium, which I think makes sense. That's really been the home of the New York City Football Club since its inception. But you had some fun pregame activities.
Yeah, it was great. We got to catch batting practice. Cody Bellinger delivered us some custom Yankees jerseys with the names on the back, even though it's not traditional for the actual players on the team. But it was a fun little gesture for us. So we had a good little chat with Cody Bellinger, and then Judge came out after batting practice and spent some time with us, and just both great guys, super humble. You'd imagine these are larger than life figures, and they still have the time to come in and chat with us. And it was a great day.
Any soccer talk? Did they know anything about the game that you could tell?
Yeah, Judge said that he was a big fan of ours. So all
right.
Hopefully you can get him out to a game. I'm sure
he'd be a presence in goal, wouldn't he, or as a central defender?
Yeah, absolutely. He'd cover half the goal just by standing in there. So. He'd be quite an asset, although I think Matty Ice has that title to his name. So,
Are you a Yankees fan? I mean, did you grow up at Yankees?
So I used to be. I would say middle school and early high school, I was a big Yankee fan.
Okay.
I would come home after soccer training and even late elementary school, and I would sit down on the couch and watch all the 7:05 games religiously. Knew all the stats and the box scores, and I was at the Game 6 of the 2009 World Series when we clinched the title against the Phillies. That was kind of the peak of my Yankees fandom. And
then soccer overcame you.
Yeah, soccer overcame me. I actually played baseball growing up until 6th grade, and then I kind of made the decision to go soccer only. My dad was the baseball player of the family, and he played growing up and kind of influenced us to get into the game. He was my T-ball coach and Little League coach for a little while, and so he was my pathway into the sport, and we shared some fun moments growing up watching the game and playing the game together.
Son and father playing baseball. Boy, is that American Pie or what, man? That's
exactly. And then he went to Princeton and became a soccer player.
Well, how about Aaron Judge? He told him that he's a big NYCFC fan. I mean,
that is awesome. And well, he is big. So if he's a fan, I think that qualifies.
Well, I'd say sticking him in goal, for some pregame warm up.
I don't want to put him in goal. I want him on set pieces, on offensive set, or on both set pieces, offensive and defensive set pieces.
What an athlete, Aaron Judge.
And there's
All
going to
right.
be Yankee Day, right? I mean, so there's going to be Yankee Day. What is it? Is it the Sunday game in September? I don't know which
Yeah.
one it is. But there's going to be Yankee Day, so we might see some Yankees coming on over to catch a New York City FC game. It's already happened with the Knicks years ago. As a matter of fact, if I remember, Kristaps Porzingis was still with the Knicks when this happened because I got a chance to speak to him outside the New York City FC locker room. So, and I don't know what other teams. I'm sure there's been Jet players and Giant players, but I haven't seen them yet. I mean, or they did.
Oh, they
and I
got
just
it.
don't
They got to
remember.
get Aaron. If Aaron Judge hasn't been in the house for a game yet, they got to get him in, man. I mean, that's
100%.
That's like the guy just said he's a big fan of the team. Come on, man, let's get him in now. Matty Freeze was mentioned there. Now he and Kevin are very close. Kevin O'Toole wrote an article for Goal.com back in March where it was a really a nice story to hear how close they are. The Ivy League boys driving to practice from their spots in Hoboken. But Matt Freeze, he got a chance to throw out the first pitch. And I hadn't seen it, but now I have. And it wasn't just a first pitch. It was a second pitch. One didn't reach the plate, and the other one went over the head. And it was. But anyway, here's O'Toole regarding Matt Freeze in the first pitch. I wondered, have you evaluated and had any discussion with Matt about his first pitch that he threw the other night?
Oh, yeah.
I guess there were two pitches.
I won't expose it too much here, but I will say that
Everyone's seen it, so it's okay.
Hannes and I had a great time watching that one together in the stands. He gave us an awesome moment, and it was audacious to call back the first pitch and then throw the second one. So a lot of props for that. And it was hilarious to watch and experience that, and what a cool moment for him. Like, I didn't realize he was throwing out the pitch until that morning at training, and he was like, I was like asking him what he was doing after training. He's like, oh yeah, like I'm actually going to the Yankee game to throw out the first pitch. I was like, you're throwing out the first pitch and you just said it casually like that? I was like, that is the coolest thing ever. And then no more than 10 minutes later, Esteban sends me a text asking if I'd be interested in joining at the game. And yeah, it was awesome to get that experience with, a couple of my buddies on the team and to watch Matt go up there. And that's a huge bucket list item for anyone from this area. You dream of doing something like that and having, getting to a place in your profession where you're accepted in that type of role. So it was really cool to see him do that.
Fantastic. It's amazing what a few saves and a penalty kick shootout will do
That's
for
right.
you in
That's
terms
right.
of your fame, right?
That's right.
That really did kind of put him on the map.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
There you go. So they had some fun.
I mean,
with it.
remember that the games for the U.S. national team in Gold Cup were very, very well rated. I mean, there were over, I don't remember if it was like 1 or 2 million. It was definitely over 1 million, and I don't know if it was 2 or 3 million. I mean, they had really good ratings. And so, yeah, Matt Freeze got to be known all around the country.
Well, he just has to work on his. There was discussion today as to whether he, and we don't know from him whether he, practiced at all. And anybody I know that has talked about throwing out the first pitch anywhere, they always figure out somewhere to throw the ball a little bit, but didn't reach the plate on the first one. But that's all right, man. As long as he can make the kick save and catch the ball and throw it like he has and distribute, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. Roberto, let's kick it around. What do you say? I just thought we'd talk about more MLS, just a little bit more. And one of it is your boy Son from Spurs, who's now with LAFC. How about the jerseys they can't keep up with it. He has the highest jersey sale now in the globe, ahead of like LeBron and Messi. He sold more. This is unbelievable. But that South Korean community, too, is a high contributor to this, man. They are nuts over this guy.
They absolutely are. Yes. And not unexpected. Not unexpected at all. Which is why I was thinking, he wouldn't look bad in a New York City FC uniform. And I'm telling you that half of Fort Lee and area surrounding the George Washington Bridge would have been coming to Yankee Stadium like crazy. But I mean, LAFC paid quite a bit of money.
It was funny after that that game, and it was on the road, the game he appeared in, and also drew a penalty, and that permitted Boanga to score and LAFC to win. His quote after the game, because people were going crazy, "I've never had this welcoming at an away game." It's pretty funny. You know, it's like, of course, Premier League, you go into the Lions' den every match, and nobody is applauding. Oh, it's Son, hey. Oh, that's funny.
If you're South Korean and you're rooting for Arsenal, you're booing Son. It doesn't matter.
I just thought it was funny. He was pretty shocked. You know, he just couldn't, wow, they're applauding me. What is going on?
He's going to be shocked a lot by what happens here in the United States, soccer-wise. The travel itself might shock him.
So, emotional night at Liverpool. So, the opening of the Premier League season was Liverpool, Bournemouth, and Diogo Jota tributes. And they were, and here's what Arne Slot said after the game. It was, "You Never Walk Alone" is unbelievable, to what an anthem to, right before the start of the game. I mean, it's crazy. And Arne Slot has heard that many times in his life. And he just said it was so powerful and emotional today that it really, impacted everybody. And look, Liverpool, Bournemouth was down 2-0, came back and tied it. And then, boy, 2 late goals, Salah scoring the 4th goal. And he goes to the supporters. It was at the Kop end, and he was in tears. I mean, that's the kind of day it was at Liverpool. And and a fun game, man. I didn't see every moment, but from what I saw, it was like a really fun game to watch. A lot of pace. And so that was today to open up the Premier League. And, they've got – go ahead.
Can I go on a little mini rant here? Just quickly. It'll be very quick, very brief. Can the nice folks at Comcast, NBC Sports, and all the people involved in running that organization, can you put all your games on Peacock as well as keeping them on USA and NBC? Can you please do that? Why are you forcing everybody to not only subscribe to Peacock, but also maintain a cable connection at the same time? Why are you doing that? Put all your games on Peacock, all of them, and then run the ones you want on USA Today, on USA. That's great. I watch most of my games on USA anyway, but put them all on Peacock, because the ones that are on USA are not on Peacock.
I know. Yeah, I share your rant because we're on the road a lot. We're on the road a lot. And we was, and some of the hotels we stay at don't have what we need. And you end up not being able to watch the game. It's crazy. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, can you imagine that you get to a hotel, they don't have USA, and all of a sudden you can't watch any of the games that are being broadcast on USA? I mean, I figured my end of it out, and I can because of my streaming services, but still.
Yeah, you could go through
99% of them, people can't do this. And it's unfair. They're charging for Peacock. They're not giving it away for free. Put all the damn games on Peacock, as well as how many you ever want to put on USA and NBC.
EPL.
Rant over.
One thing, they're going with some rule adjustments. The 8-second rule, which we saw in Leagues Cup, surprisingly, we both admitted we didn't know that was happening until Matt Freese got called. I forget what game it was, but anyway.
I think it was Puebla.
That's going to be utilized. I think you're right. That's going to be utilized in the Premier League. I don't know if it was used today because I did not see the entire match. I don't think so. Also, another thing that's going to be enforced, 2 other things, that they're both going to be interesting. Captain only talking to the referee, just like in rugby, where there's ultimate respect for the referee. We should follow what rugby does. We should follow the way rugby comports themselves, players and coaches, toward the referee. Anyway, we'll
We
see.
don't have to get cauliflower ears, do we?
No, what we have to recognize is whether the referees in the EPL in the EPL are going to stick with this and book the other players that come up and are rude. Like, apparently you can gently come in as well and go, hey, come on, Howard. But if the referee is getting enveloped, like we always see, and there's 4 players outside of the captain, bang, 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 bang. We'll see if it happens, but that's supposed to happen. And the other thing, Roberto, this is going to be mighty interesting as well. Oh, I'm forgetting what it was. Darn it, I can't remember. There's a third thing that's a third adjustment to a rule that is that I can't remember.
Welcome to our life.
Well, no, if I pull up a tweet that I put up earlier today, I'll be able to find it. So let me see.
All right. Well, meanwhile, in Leagues Cup,
don't go too far ahead of me here.
No, I won't. In Leagues Cup, there's a rule that's amended from the MLS rule, which is that if you get hurt and the trainer's got to come in and the player who fouled you, or if there was a foul, didn't get a yellow card, that means that you have to come out of the game and stay out 2 minutes. In Leagues Cup, it's 1 minute. And through some of the conversations that we were having today at the practice facility, it came up that it didn't happen with a couple of players of Toluca who had injuries and then came out and then were allowed right back on the field. So that rule wasn't universally applied as it should have been.
Yeah, we did. That was an interesting thing to learn today. And I'm desperate to come up with this. And I think we're going to probably have to go before I do. So I can't find it. I cannot find it.
We've got 3 more minutes before we get 86th here. So let's go.
Yeah. Well, here, if I do remember it, I'll let you know. What is going on with concerts damaging playing fields, i.e. 2 fields that the New York City Football Club uses, Citi Field, game postponed, in great part due to concerts. They're saying the weather and look, New York City and the Mets have played at Citi Field, the last couple of years, a similar amount of matches, and the weather's been hot and everything else. Field has survived. Well, concerts, boom, they got to re-turf, a good portion of the field. And then what's going on at Red Bull Arena, or now known as Sports Illustrated Stadium, is absolutely ridiculous. We saw it in Leagues Cup. If we watch any of the Gotham FC games recently, or any of the Red Bull games recently, it's the ball is bobbling in that one area.
There was a great goal that was set up by the field against Real Salt Lake. That was fantastic because they put in a low cross, right? Yeah. And the minute it hits the box, it all of a sudden starts jumping like a rabbit, and it just sits up. I forget who the player was, just sits up for him perfectly, and he drills it into the side netting. But had that ball not bounced, he probably wouldn't have gotten all of it. So, that allowed for a great goal. But no, the field is in horrific condition, especially in front of the Red Bull supporter section, that part of the field especially. And we're accustomed to Red Bull Arena being basically a brand new billiard table every time we go there. And for everybody to see the condition that the field was like, and then have the coaches, especially the coaches from the Mexican teams, Antonio Mohamed was furious at the condition of the field. And by the way, after I spoke to him after the New York City game at Yankee Stadium, and he said the field played fine there. He said he had no issues with any part of the field or anything about the field, not even the size. Did not mention the size. That only happens in MLS, where every other coach goes, it's 70 yards wide.
Oh, it was brought up. It was brought up at the Nashville press conference today, of course, and
Should I remind them that it's 1 yard narrower than Fulham's field, and it's 1 yard longer than Fulham's field? Can I remind people that?
Yeah, you can.
109 by 71 in yards. That's them. New York City 110 by 70.
All right.
Go walk it off.
Final note. University of Michigan. I'll give you a football story.
All right.
The sign stealing case, which is one of my favorite stories in the last 2 years, because a Netflix documentary was created. Connor Stallions is the guy who is like, he was in charge, and he was assigning people to go to games. He was paying for tickets for them to get seats so they could get a view and videotape the signs of, and you're not allowed to do this, by the way, the signs of the opponents that they were upcoming and playing. And he himself was caught on the sideline of a team that they were going to play in a couple of weeks. He was on their sideline about 30 yards, 20 or 30 yards from the head coach. And I'm telling you, and the person who got almost in the most trouble was Jim Harbaugh, who's not even there anymore. He'll never coach college football again because they gave him like a 10-year, you can't step into the college arena ever. So, he's not going to come back to college. Yeah, I think he's with the Chargers now. But anyway.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yes,
so anyway.
He is. Did you see, by the speaking of Jim Harbaugh, I think it was him. Wasn't it him who had the conversation with, now why am I blanking on his name? The guy who plays Ted Lasso.
I don't know his name either.
Oh, I do, and he's Sudeikis, Sudeikis, and that's why Ted Lasso dresses the way he does, because it was either Jim or his brother John Harbaugh who said, "This is what I do every day, as far as every day. This is the way I dress, so I don't have to think about it and do it." And so that's where he got that.
Okay.
For Ted Lasso.
Oh, that's nice. Well,
yes.
Jim Harbaugh, I don't care how good a coach is. I know he's a very good coach. He's a scumbag. I mean, he cheated knowingly at the University of Michigan. He also recruited, by the way, he illegally, he had a 4-year probation because he illegally recruited during COVID. Guy's a scumbag. You can't do that, man. You can't do it. And, I know other coaches do it and try to get away and bend the rules and all these other things. But I'm Jim Harbaugh. I'm at the University of Michigan. F everybody else. I'm going to do whatever I want. I don't like people like that. And that's who he is. Good football coach. I think professional level is the place for him to be, not the collegiate level. By the way, I remember what the third thing in the EPL, and then we will absolutely close, Jimmy. But this is going to be great, Roberto. This is going to be great to see. I don't know how often you say anything like this in commentary. I am appalled by the number of times the referees don't let set pieces and corner kicks take it while they go in and calm things down and tell everybody, hey, stop, you can't do. No. Let the play go and call the foul. If somebody grapples somebody to the ground, it's a PK. If one of the attacking players push it, it's a foul. Don't say anything. Just call it. Well, Howard Webb, who's the chief in England now, used to be the chief in MLS, says their referees are going to call grappling off of set pieces, and we're going to see a lot more penalty. Howard just said if they don't change, there's going to be a lot of penalty kicks. We'll see. So that's interesting, right?
I expect a lot of penalty kicks early. The NHL does stuff like this all the time, and then they overemphasize it early on in the season, like for the first couple of months, and then they step back a little bit. I'm expecting a lot of this. You better practice your penalties in the EPL. I'll tell you that much, because they're going to get called.
Yeah. Oh, no, you're right.
I like it.
Yeah, no, I do too, because don't talk. And I hope the referees don't go in there and start talking to people still. No, just sort it out. It's a foul, man. Anyway. Hey,
look, if you know in advance that this is going to happen, they don't spring it on you. Then you know. And so don't go crying to the ref about it, when you're bear hugging somebody and they're going to the ground and you don't let them get to the ball. So you're going to get called.
No 8-second rule in MLS. No grappling on set pieces, and we're going to call it. But there is supposedly the only captain speaks. I don't think they're administering that very well in MLS. And again, just like you said, at first they're very attentive to it, and then as the season progresses, it becomes a little less attended to. And I think that's the way it is now. All right, Roberto and I, we will be on with our broadcast partners on Sunday at 4:45 with our pregame shows on the New York City FC network. We got Spanish and English. You can choose there. Whatever you choose, sync it up with a video. And then Maddie and I at 4 p.m. we'll have our NYCFC pregame live. It's a stream. We'll have our comments on the starting 11 and a whole bunch of other stuff too. So that'll do it for us.
Yeah, but this also remember that now that New York City is out of Leagues Cup, Glenn and Maddie, you'll be able to listen to their broadcast on Apple TV as well. So if you're home and you're watching Apple TV, you can put him on directly. If you want to watch in Spanish, then you've got to sync it all up.
And I know there's people that watch us and listen to us that are not able to attend home games for whatever the reasons. There's a variety of reasons. So, they end up, watching the home games from home as well. So sync up, as we like to say. So for Roberto, I'm Glenn. Thanks, Jimmy. And thanks for joining us on NYCFC Views Live.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast NYCFC Views on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.